Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University for the final elimination game before the state championship of the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament. We have Cedar and Desert Hills, and two teams from this coming out of the same region playing in this one, and an opportunity to advance to play Grantsville and the state championship game to follow. The regular season, Desert Hills took both meetings over Cedar. And now we'll see exactly later on in the season how these two teams are playing today. Let's give you the lineup for Cedars. They're getting ready to start. Right fielder Josh Boyer will lead it off. Trayson Esplin will play second base, hit second. Riker Tom, the shortstop, hitting third. Brock Esplin at first base will hit fourth. Brecken Lewis at third will hit fifth. Dallas Jolly, the catcher, hits sixth. Caden Lunt will be on the mound, hitting seventh. Morgan Garrett hitting eighth in left field, and Weston Bettridge rounds out the order as Baden Powell delivers the first pitch, high and tight for a ball, and we're underway at just past 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Baden Powell on the mound for Desert Hills, and that one's going to be swung on line to center, and running down and making a leaping catch into the air. Out there is Evans in center field, and there's one away in the top half of the first inning. Let's give you the defense for Desert Hills. In left field, it'll be Clay Wilcox. Jordan Evans just made that catch in center field today. In right field, it'll be Dylan File. On the infield, Clay Gardner at third, Braden Irvin at short. Evan Moss will be at second with Blake Betts at first. Wyatt Bendel behind the plate, and Baden Powell on the mound. And he delivers ball one outside to Trayson Esplin. Esplin will hit from the left side of the plate. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be taken low and on the outside corner for a called strike. It evens the count at 1-1 strike. Cedar last night defeating Park City 13-8. They came back in that one with an 11-run inning, and that one's going to be grounded to second. It's fielded by Evan Moss, and his throw to first in time, and there's two away in the first. Cedar with that 11-run third inning last night was trailing 4-1 heading into that third, and they just erupted for 11 runs. They finished the game with 13 runs on 7 hits. Not very often you're gonna score more runs than you had hits in the ball game. And with 2 away, Riker Tom will come up to the plate. The first pitch from Powell bounces in there for a ball, and it's 1 and no strikes. Powell working from the windup. The right-hander comes set on the mound and delivers the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, and that one's going to be grounded foul over into the third base coaching box. Cedar in the first base dugout for this one as the visiting team, wearing their red tops and their white pants. Desert Hills in the third base home dugout, wearing their white tops and their white pants tonight. Or I guess this morning. The 1-1 pitch home to Tom is swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. Powell brought the breaking ball, and Tom was able to swing through it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the count. The kick and the delivery home by Powell swung on and hit out to left field. It's going to be down towards the line, coming on. It's going to be a fair ball as it falls in front of Clay Wilcox, just inside the foul line, and so a single here with 2 outs for Riker Tom. And Brock Esplin's going to come up to the plate here with 2 away. Brock Esplin last night pitched 4 1/3 innings for Cedar with 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Also played first base. Went 1 for 2 with an RBI. Tom gets his lead over at first. Powell working from the stretch for the first time tonight. Delivers a breaking ball. That's in on the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Infield up the middle, playing back. Just about a step in front of the outfield grass. The 0-1 pitch from Powell. That one's going to be ends up low, and it evens the count at 1-1. The winner of this one gets Grantsville in the state championship game, and then whoever wins this one, if they would beat Grantsville, they would have an if necessary 1 final game today. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the delivery comes breaking ball, swung on by Esplin, hit deep down the left field line. Could have been a look, and that ball is going to be gone for a 2-run homer in the first. Brock Esplin, for the second time in this one, for the second time in this tournament, has gone yard in the first inning to give Cedar a 2-0 lead. And that one to left field just barely found enough over the 305 left field corner, and it's 2-0 Cedar. So a great way to start if you're Cedar as they get out to a 2-0 lead, and Brecken Lewis will come to the plate. Lewis will hit from the right side. Where's number 19? And the first pitch from Baden Powell comes inside and bounces in for a ball, 1-0. Wyatt Bendall will go out and have a word with Powell here. On a great morning for baseball. I don't think we could ask for better weather on this championship Saturday, where the 3A State Baseball Championship will be awarded. 1 ball and no strikes. And Powell delivers. That one sits on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. 3 teams still alive to win that championship: Grantsville, Desert Hills, and Cedar. The 1-1 pitch. That's on the outside corner for a called strike with the fastball, and it's 1-2 to Brecken Lewis. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Powell delivers home. That one bounces in the dirt and gets to the backstop, and it will even the count at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs in the top of the first. Powell looking to get that final strike, and the pitch comes. Swung on and missed, and he does. And the first inning will come to an end, but Brock Esplin provides the offense in the first for Cedar. A 2-run homer to left puts Cedar up 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the first inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Thunder of Desert Hills coming up here, and this will be their lineup for this one. Second baseman Evan Moss will lead off. Brayson Herdsman will DH tonight. He's in the 2 spot. Dylan File will hit 3rd. Clay Wilcox in the cleanup spot. Wyatt Bendall, the catcher, hitting 5th. Blake Betts will hit 6th. It'll be Clay Gardner hitting 7th. Braden Irvin hitting 8th, and Jordan Evans rounds out the order for Desert Hills, and they will go up against the right-hander Caden Lunt for Cedar. Lunt already has a 2-0 lead as he gets ready to throw his first pitch to Evan Moss, and he delivers this one right on the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Defensively, it's Morgan Garrett in left, Weston Bettridge in center, Josh Boyer in right, as the 0-1 pitch is away with the breaking ball, and it evens the count at 1-1. Brecken Lewis will be at 3rd. Riker Tom will be at short. Trayson Esplin at 2nd. Brock Esplin at 1st. And Dallas Jolly behind the plate as he blocks that one in the dirt. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Evan Moss. Moss hitting in the leadoff spot. And the 2-1 pitch on its way is low for ball 3. And it's 3 balls and a strike. 3 balls and a strike to Evan Moss, a good hitter's count here, and the 3-1 is a fastball that's low for ball 4, and Evan Moss is on here to start the first inning for Desert Hills. And that's going to bring up the DH, Brayson Herdsman. Herdsman, the sophomore, was on the mound yesterday for Desert Hills. Pitched well against Grantsville, but Grantsville will get some late runs in this one. And the pitch to Herdsman, ground ball right back to Lunt. He's going to go to Tom for 1 at second, down to first in time for the 1-6-3 double play. And there's 2 away here in the first after the double play, and Dylan File will come to the plate. So getting some help with the ground ball, and a good turn as Lunt put that throw right over second base for Riker Tom, and a quick turn. So Dylan File will stand in, and the first pitch to File is going to be high and away for a ball, and it's 1-0. 1-0 pitch is on its way from Lunt. Swung on, popped up high on the infield. It's going to be Riker Tom going out into the outfield grass, and he is there to make the play. And the first inning will come to an end. So quick work for Caden Lunt in the first. At the end of 1 from Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Cedar 2, Desert Hills 0. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the second at Brent Brown Ballpark. Cedar leading Desert Hills 2-0 as we move to the top of the second inning. It'll be Dallas Jolly, Caden Lunt, Morgan Garrett, 6, 7, and 8 coming up here for Cedar. And Baden Powell's first pitch comes home, and it's over at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Cedar has not had the easiest road to get here. They've been playing all week here as Powell comes set on the mound. Takes a long look in, and time called by Dallas Jolly. They started last Saturday in the regional round. Cedar beat Juab and then lost to Juan Diego. And the 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled away and rolled softly to the first base coaching box, and it's 0-2. That puts Cedar in the bottom part of the bracket. They had to play Thursday against Richfield in Spanish Fork. Win that one, then play later that day against Uinta. The 0-2 pitch is going to be just low and away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So they had to play a doubleheader on Thursday. They had to win 2, which they did. Yesterday they had to play Pineview at 11. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled away by Jolly, and we'll redo the 1-2. They had to play Pineview at 11. They beat Pineview back in action later that night at 7 against Park City. And tonight it doesn't get any easier. If they win this one, they would have to beat Grantsville twice in order to win a state title. The 1-2 pitch breaking ball, Jolly swings and fouls it away over to the Desert Hills dugout. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Jolly. Powell working from the windup, kicks and delivers home the 1-2 pitch, swung on, grounded to short. It's fielded by Irvin. His throw across the diamond is going to get past Betts at first base, and Jolly will be safe. So Cedar gets a base runner on here with nobody out in the second. And we'll see here, Jolly was down the line pretty quickly. I think we're just waiting to see here if, and they will rule that an error. So Jolly reaches on the air. And we'll have a runner over at first for the catcher, Jolly. Typically, that's been Bracken Yardley in the tournament. We'll kind of see here trying to get the number on the runner at first. And it will be Brock Oldroyd to run for Cedar over at first base. And Caden Lunt, the pitcher, will stand in. So Lunt looking to help his own cause. The pickoff move over to first, and they almost got him. A very quick move by Baden Powell, and just getting that right hand underneath the tag was Oldroyd at first base. So a very close bang-bang play at first goes in favor of Cedar this time. Powell working from the stretch and delivers home. Bunt showed by Lunt. Snap throw down to first, and back in again is Oldroyd. And it will be 0-1 as Lunt did not pull the bunt back in time. Adds no balls and a strike to the pitcher, Caden Lunt. Oldroyd gets his lead at first. Powell very aware that he's there, and the 0-1 pitch is home. Lunt this time does pull it back and takes it for a ball, 1-1. Betts and Gardner, the first and third baseman for Desert Hills, has been charging on the bunt. And it's been Moss running over to cover first. The pickoff move, and Oldroyd back again, this time not as big as lead as he's had in the past. One ball and one strike working from the stretch. And Lunt will now step out of the batter's box. Lunt steps back in. We're ready to go. Oldroyd gets his lead at first. Working from the stretch. And delivers home to his pal. And Lunt swings and misses. And it's 1-2. Lunt tried to step back and try to pull that ball into left field, but came up empty here. The outfield playing Lunt to pull, and a pretty big hole out in right center field. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the count on Caden Lunt. Powell sets and delivers home. That pitch is swung on, line back up the middle. It's going to be a leaping catch by Irvin. Throw to first is in time to get Oldroyd at first, and a double play. So the 6-3 double play as Irvin leaps into the air to make the play, and the throw back to get Oldroyd was just in the nick of time. And there's 2 outs for Morgan Garrett, the left fielder.
The left fielder, number 6, Morgan Garrett.
So Garrett hitting in the 8th spot will stand in, and the pitch from Powell, check swing, and it looks like he did go, and he did. It's 0-1. So some fine defensive plays being made by both teams here in the early going. No balls and a strike as Powell sets back working from the windup and delivers the 0-1 pitch, and that bounces in there for a ball, and it's 1-1. Most of the time you'll see pitchers work from the stretch when there's runners on base to get the ball delivered to home quicker. It's easier to stop the runners from stealing bases, as that one's fouled away by Chandler, and it's 1-2. The windup's maybe a little bit slower to home plate, and it's easier for the base runners to get a jump trying to steal that next base for them. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Morgan Garrett as Powell kicks and delivers home, and now it's going to be a called strike 3 on the inside corner. So Powell able to get out of the second with no damage done. We head to the bottom of the second at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Cedar 2, Desert Hills 0. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Cedar 2, Desert Hill 0. The Thunder coming up with 4, 5, and 6. It will be Clay Wilcox, the left fielder, to lead it off. It'll be Wilcox, Bendall, and Blake Betts due up here in the bottom of the second against Caden Lunt. As Wilcox stands in a squared stance in the batter's box, and the breaking pitch is in there on the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike to Clay Wilcox as he took a look at the first pitch, and the 0-1 pitch. Wilcox lets that one go, and that one's low and away, and evens the count at 1-1. Lunt sets and delivers home, and that one swung on by Wilcox, hit to left, and immediately ruled foul. That one was hit down the line. Typically you see just the home plate umpire and the first base umpire, but today we have an umpire behind home plate and 2 on the bases. As Wilcox is going to chase that one for the third strike, the tag applied by Dallas Jolly, and there's 1 away. So 1 away for Wyatt Bendall to come to the plate. Bendall, the catcher, stands in the first pitch, a breaking ball, and that one stays too high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch swung on. That one's popped up and going to be fouled away, back out over us, and even count now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lunt ready to go. And that one swung on and missed by Bendall, and it's 1-2. So Caden Lunt pretty much working quickly, gets the ball back from Dallas Jolly, comes set, and basically throws the next pitch like he's doing now, the 1-2 on its way. And that one swung on and fouled away by Bendall. Infield playing at normal depth, outfield playing pretty straight away here. As the 1-2 to Bendall comes home, and that's going to be looked at, and it's just low for a ball, and it's 2-2. A tough pitch there probably to lay off from my vantage point here. But Bendall takes it, and it is a ball. 2-2, 2-2 count on its way. That's going to be a check swing, and that's going to be low and away, and the count goes full, 3-2. So Bendall's worked back from a 1-2 count now to a 3-2. And the delivery home on the 3-2 pitch is swung on line to center field for a base hit. So Desert Hills has their first hit of the ball game. And their second base runner, and that's going to bring up first baseman Blake Betts.
Playing first base, number 23, Blake Betts.
Betts will stand in from the left side of the plate here with 1 away. Infield will go to double play depth. Caden Lunt able to get Herdsman to ground right back to him for a 1-6-3 in the first inning. And Betts swings and fouls the first pitch back to the screen, and it's 0-1. Betts a squared stance in the batter's box. And the no ball, 1 strike delivery on its way. Ground ball hit to second. It's going to be hit behind the runner. Fielded by Esplin, who bobbles it. His throw to first, though, is still going to be in time. But Wyatt Bendall able to reach second base. The ball was hit in a way just behind the runner, where Esplin, playing more towards second base, had to run into the hole. So it was going to make it a very difficult turn. His only real play there was to first base. And the third baseman, Clay Gardner, going to come to the plate. So 2 away, a runner on second for Desert Hills. And Lunt checks the runner at second, delivers home. And a breaking ball is going to be in there at the knees, and it's 0-1. Lunt has had good control of the fastball and the breaking pitch so far through an inning and 2/3 of work. Lunt from the stretch delivers the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball, and it's 1-1. So Gardner, pretty even stance in the box. And the 1-1 pitch is going to be a check swing, and it looks like he held up as the pitch was far away, and it's 2 balls and a strike. A good job by Dallas Jolly there, making sure that one didn't get to the backstop. 2 balls and a strike on Clay Gardner, and the 2-1 pitch comes inside, almost hits Gardner, but it looks like he stayed out of the way, and the count runs to 3-1. So a good hitter's count here, a good fastball count, as typically you would see the fastball here 3-1, but with Lunt having the good stuff on his breaking pitch, maybe he sees a breaking ball. 3-1 pitch is a fastball, and that one swung on and grounded foul over towards the first base coach's box, and the count will now go full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. I would not expect the runner to be moving here, because he would be, if it was ball 4, he could be thrown out trying to steal third. And the 3-2 pitch from Caden Lunt. Runner is going, swung on and missed, strike 3, and the inning's over. Looks like it's going to be a foul tip into the glove, and at the end of 2 complete here from Brent Brown Ballpark, it's Cedar 2, Desert Hills 0. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 3rd inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Cedar 2, Desert Hills 0. The Redmen coming up to bat here. They'll set 9-1-2. Weston Bettridge, Josh Boyer, and Trayson Esplin due up here against Baden Powell. Powell, working from the windup, will deliver his first pitch to Bettridge, and that one's high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Winner of this one gets Grantsville to follow us here. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be, that one's going to bounce back to the backstop. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes as Powell will deliver home the 2-0. That one stays high around the helmet area. It wasn't around the helmet, but it was the height of where Bettridge's batting helmet was, and so it's out of the strike zone, and it's 3-0. So 3-0 count, and Bettridge taking all the way, takes a strike, and it's 3-1 with the fastball. So a good hitter's count here for the 9-hole hitter Bettridge. He was 0 for 4 in last night's win against Park City. That one swung on, line to short. Brayden Irvin gonna come over, gonna dive and make the play. So the second fine defensive play we've seen from Brayden Irvin tonight, or this morning, and there's 2 away. I'm sorry, that's the first out of the inning, as they'll go back to the top of the lineup and Josh Boyer. So Boyer on the day is 0 for 1. He flew out to center back in the first. Open stance in the box, and the first pitch to Boyer is swung on and fouled right back to the screen. It's 0-1. Desert Hills had a little bit different way of getting here. They played in the Desert Hills region sites last week, beating Richfield and Park City. They beat Pineview here on Thursday. That one's in on the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Defeated Pineview before losing last night or yesterday afternoon to Grantsville. No balls and 2 strikes. And time called as Boyer will step out of the box. No balls and 2 strikes as Powell, working from the windup, will deliver home the 0-2. That's high for a ball, and it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. The delivery on its way is going to sit just off the plate for a ball, and it's 2-2. Powell, a quick worker as well, pretty much gets the ball, stays on the rubber, and delivers the 2-2 pitch. That's going to bounce in there for ball 3, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So both pitchers working fairly quickly. Both are pretty much get the ball back, get the sign, and throw. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Powell sets on the mound, will begin his wind-up delivery home. Is swung on and fouled away by Boyer. Fouled it straight into the dirt, and it came up and went off some part of Boyer's body there. And we'll redo the 3-ball, 2-strike count. So the 3-2 pitch is on its way, a breaking ball. Boyer swings and lines that one to left field. It's going to fall for a base hit. So Josh Boyer on with a 1-out single, and Trayson Esplin will come to the plate. Esplin, the second baseman on the night, is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second back in his first at-bat in the first. Boyer, the runner at first, getting his lead. Powell back working from the stretch pickoff move, and Boyer's back. Powell with a pretty good move to first. It doesn't appear to be very quick, but by the time he turns and throws over, the ball gets there pretty quick. Of course, Powell also plays the outfield for this Desert Hills team. And the delivery comes home. That one's low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. So it would make sense that he would have a pretty good quick move to first. Playing the outfield, he's used to having to make sure he gets the ball in quickly. 1 ball and no strikes. A big hole for Esplin on the right side of the infield with Betts holding on Boyer. The 1-0 pitch swung on. Esplin fouls it away as Boyer was going on that. A hit and run opportunity there for Cedar, but it was fouled away. So we'll see here if Cedar elects to go right back to the hit and run, or what they will try here. Infield up the middle for Desert Hills, playing a double play depth. The left-handed hitting Trayson Esplin at the plate. The 1-1 pitch on its way. That one blocked in the dirt. A good stop there by Wyatt Bendel from keeping that one from skipping too far away with the speedy Boyer on at first base. Cedar in the red tops, white pants. Desert Hills in the all white. 2 balls and a strike. Powell sets and delivers home the 2-1 pitch. Bounces in there again. A good block by Bendel, and it's 3-1. So now a favorable count here to see what Cedar wants to do. A big hole out in right center field as Jordan Evans in center for Desert Hills, playing Esplin more towards left. The 3-1 pitch is on his way and swung on, hit to the right side. Betts is going to field it, goes to Irvin for 1, and the no throw back to first as Esplin was down the line and Powell wasn't quite to the base. A good decision by Irvin not to throw it. So they'll get 1 as Esplin reaches on the fielder's choice. And there's 2 out for Riker Tom. Tom singled and came around to score on the Brock Esplin home run to left. With 2 outs in the inning. And Tom will step in with a pretty open stance. Trayson Esplin running, and Tom swings and misses. Looks like he foul tipped that one. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Riker Tom, wearing number 9. Trayson Esplin gets his lead at first. And the 0-1 pitch on its way is going to sit right on the corner for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Riker Tom. So Powell's done a good job of getting ahead of most of the hitters he's faced here this morning. The 0-2 pitch, pickoff move back to the bag, and they almost got Trayson Esplin. But again, back under the tag was Esplin just in time. No balls and 2 strikes. Powell working from the stretch, comes set on the mound and delivers the 0-2 pitch. High runner goes. Esplin will get there. The ball will go into center field. Esplin won't be able to as he slid head first into second base. And he wasn't able to, I don't think by the time he realized the ball was in center, Jordan Evans was already backing up the play. So credit Trayson Esplin with a stolen base. It was a ball, and so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Riker Tom. So they put the speed right now at the top of the Cedar lineup with Josh Boyer and Trayson Esplin have both tried to run here in the 3rd inning. And now Trayson Esplin in scoring position for the Redmen. And the 1-2 pitch, that one's blocked in the dirt by Bendall, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Winner of this one gets Grantsville to follow. And if Grantsville would lose that first one, there will be a 3rd game of the day to decide the state champion of the 3A classification in the state of Utah. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Working from the stretch is Baden Powell. Powell delivers the 2-2 pitch home, and Tom swings and fouls that one down the 3rd baseline. And we'll redo the 2-2 pitch. On deck is Brock Esplin. Esplin in the first had a 2-run home run to left. That has given us our score of Cedar 2, Desert Hills 0. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on, grounded to 3rd. It's fielded, and the throw across the diamond in time from Gardner over to Betts. And the top of the 3rd inning will end. So Cedar strands 1 on base. We head to the bottom of the 3rd here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Cedar 2, Desert Hills 0. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Utah Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom of the 3rd inning from Brent Brown Ballpark. Desert Hills coming up, trailing 2-0. They'll send Braden Irvin, Jordan Evans, and Evan Moss, 8, 9, and 1, coming up here against Caden Lunt, who has pitched well so far. Irvin, the shortstop, hitting from the right side of the plate, and Lunt delivers home the first pitch, a breaking ball that's on the corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. We've seen Irvin with his glove today make a couple of nice plays as the 0-1 pitch is on the outside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And we'll see here what he can do offensively. The 1-1 pitch from Lunt is delivered low again in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Irvin, Evans, and back to the top of the order with Moss. And the 2-1 pitch. Swung on. That one's hit well by Irvin to left. Garrett going back. He is under on the warning track. Couldn't make the play. It's off the wall. So going into second will be Braden Irvin with a double. And so a leadoff man on for Desert Hills here in the third. And that ball was hit well off the bat. And Morgan Garrett had to go back and just didn't quite get there. And so a double here will now bring up Jordan Evans. So we'll see here if Desert Hills will sacrifice to get the runner to third with potentially one away, but we'll see here how Desert Hills decides to play this. Corners are in, looking like they're going to charge in case the bunt. Lunt turns and will look the runner back to second. Irvin once again will get his lead as Dallas Jolly out in front of home plate, giving the defensive signals for Cedar here. Evans set at home plate, and the first pitch on its way. Evans shows bunt. Came right inside, almost squared with Evans in the batter's box, and he got the bunt laid down but fouled it away. That might have been more of just a defensive bunt there. He probably didn't necessarily want to bunt at that, knowing how inside it was, but the alternative option would have been having to potentially hit him. So no balls and a strike here to Jordan Evans. Squared stance in the box. And the 0-1 pitch. Lunt checks the runner, delivers home. Not going. Runner goes for third. Irvin's going to slide in there, and he got in there underneath the tag. They're going to say the foot got in when the tag came high up to Irvin's chest at third by Lewis. And they're going to say that the foot beat the tag that came up high. And so an 0-2 count to Jordan Evans with nobody out. Braden Irvin is sitting on at third base, and the 0-2 pitch home is going to be away, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. A good block by Dallas Jolly there to keep it in front of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Evans. Braden Irvin running on at third base. And the 1-2 pitch on its way. Lunt delivers, swung on, and it's going to be foul away. As it was fouled, it looks like it hit Dallas Jolly, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Desert Hills faithful, they have traveled well to this one here. Majority of the third base side of Brent Brown Ballpark here filled with Desert Hills fans. The 1-2 pitch coming on its way. Swung on and missed, and Evans down on strikes. A big strikeout for Caden Lunt, his third of the night, and there's 1 out here in the third inning. And back to the top of the order, and Evan Moss.
Playing second base, number 28, Evan Moss.
Moss hit in the first inning and got on base via the walk. So his first official at bat coming here. Moss wearing number 28, hitting from the right side of the plate, and the first pitch on its way is blocked in the dirt by Jolly, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and no strikes the count to Evan Moss. Corners playing in on the grass. That one swung on tap. It's going to roll just foul on the third baseline. It started fair and then just started to roll foul, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Evan Moss. Infield up the middle, playing back. They'll concede the run if it's hit up the middle. If it's hit on the corners to first or third, they will try to make sure they can cut that run down at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike here with 1 away in the bottom of the third inning, and that one's blocked in the dirt again by Jolly, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Two balls and a strike as Caden Lunt delivers the 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Moss is going to hit that one to left. Coming on. It's going to fall in front of Morgan Garrett in left. Scoring on the play will be Braden Irvin on the RBI single for Evan Moss. And on the scoreboard is Desert Hills. So an RBI single, the first run of the game. It's 2-1 in favor of Cedar as the designated hitter Brayson Herdsman will come to the plate. Herdsman grounded right back to Caden Lunt, who turned it into a 1-6-3 double play in the first. And the delivery home from Lunt. Runner goes. That one's pulled right to first. Brock Esplin will go tag first base. And advancing down to second will be Evan Moss. So 2 outs and Dylan File will come to the plate. Moss on second base with good speed. So File would love to come through with a clutch base hit here. File hitting from the right side, wearing number 9. He's 0 for 1 tonight as he popped out to first baseman Brock Esplin. And the first pitch home is a breaking ball that sits on the corner, and it's 0-1. We've seen Caden Lunt tonight throw a lot of breaking pitches and have success hitting that outside corner, especially to right-handed batters. No balls and a strike. Lunt checks the runner at second, delivers the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, that one's grounded to short. Fielded by Liker Thomas, thrown in time to first. But Desert Hills able to come away with the 1 run. We've played 3 complete innings from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Cedar 2, Desert Hills 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top half of the 4th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Cedar 2, Desert Hills 1, as the middle part of the Cedar lineup coming up here against Baden Powell. It will be Brock Esplin, Brecken Lewis, and Dallas Jolly, 4, 5, and 6. Brock Esplin 1 for 1 tonight, hit a 2-run homer in the first to give Cedar their 2 runs. And the first pitch from Baden Powell is delivered. Esplin swings, grounds out on a third, diving stop by Gardner. He throws from his knees across. It won't be in time for a base hit for Brock Esplin. So Esplin now 2 for 2 on the night. A great attempt from Gardner and a good throw from his knees, but just couldn't quite get there in time.
Number 19, Brecken Lewis.
And so now Brecken Lewis will come to the plate. Lewis on the night is 0 for 1, struck out swinging to end the first inning. Runner on at first, gets his lead. Lewis shows bunt and pulls it back for a ball. That's 1 ball and no strikes. Lewis, the third baseman, was the starting pitcher in last night's game against Park City. Only threw an inning and 2/3. But then got it going offensively. That one's in there high for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Brecken Lewis. So 2 balls and no strikes to count. Lewis hitting from the right side is set the 2-0 pitch. That one's in the dirt, and it gets away as Bendall is going to throw down. He lost the handle on it. So Brock Esplin gets a stolen base. It's now a 3-0 count here to Brecken Lewis. So Cedar's put the game in motion here in the 2nd and now 4th innings. And now to have a conversation is Wyatt Bendall along with Evan Moss. And now this conversation will break up on the mound here. Nobody out, runner on second, and there's a 3-0 count to Brecken Lewis. The catcher, Dallas Jolly, waits on deck for Cedar. 3 balls and no strikes. Working from the stretch is Baden Powell. Powell delivers the 3-0 pitch. That's going to be low for ball 4. So Cedar has 2 men on. And they're going to bring the catcher, Dallas Jolly, to the plate. And we'll see here with 2 on and nobody out, a good chance we might see a bunt laid down to move the runners to second and third with Caden Lunt on deck to follow. We'll see here how the Redmond will play this here. And the first pitch is about to be given to Dallas Jolly. He will square and bunt. He fouls the first bunt attempt down the third baseline, so no balls and a strike. So we'll see if the bunt will be on again. Betts was charging hard from first. I think they're going to try to play for the out at third, as it was Gardner not really moving very far away from third. No balls and 1 strike to count. To Dallas Jolly. Powell delivers. Bunt showed. He pulls this one back. It's taken for a ball. 1-1. Betts was again charging. Moss was going over from second to cover first. Gardner was staying put at third for Desert Hills. 2-1 lead for Cedar over Desert Hills in the top of the 4th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Dallas Jolly. Betts playing in on the infield grass. Bunt showed again. Jolly pulls it back, and the ball skips away from Bendel, but not very far. It's 2 balls and a strike. This is an elimination game at the Utah State Baseball Tournament. Winner moves on to play Grantsville in the state championship. The winner has to win 2 today against Grantsville. 2 balls and a strike. The delivery home is low for ball 3. And the count now runs 3 balls and a strike. Jolly was not bunting on that attempt. And so a good hitter's count here for Dallas Jolly. And he's got a 3-1 count. And we'll see here how Cedar will play it here. I would imagine if they didn't bunt 2-1, they probably won't bunt 3-1. The 3-1 pitch on its way is low for ball 4, and Cedar has the bases loaded in the 4th. So back-to-back walks given up by Baden Powell, and the bases are full for Caden Lunt, and that's going to spark a visit to the mound here for Desert Hills. The scoring in this one, Cedar scored their 2 runs on a 2-run homer by Brock Esplin in the first. One that was hit out to left field that just found its way over the wall in left. Desert Hills scored in the bottom of the 3rd inning after Braden Irvin started the inning off with a double. He came around to score on an Evan Moss single. And that's how we've gotten to this point here. 2-1 Cedar on top of Desert Hills. So the visit to the mound is over. Baden Powell will step off the mound for a second, try to prepare himself as Caden Lunt will step to the plate. Lunt is 0 for 1 tonight. He popped out to the shortstop Braden Irvin on, well, kind of lined one to second. Braden Irvin just made a diving attempt, a diving catch. A great play by Irvin. So nobody out. The infield coming in for Desert Hills. And the first pitch coming home to Caden Lunt is delivered. And Lunt takes high for a ball, and it's 1-0. These two teams have played each other twice before in the regular season. They're both coming out of Region 9. And it was Desert Hills winning both of those matchups. The 1-0 pitch, Lunt swings and fouls that one away, and it's 1-1. Some action going now in the Thunder bullpen They're going to get a right-hander warming up. Begins to kind of play some catch down in the bullpen. So 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Caden Lunt. And the delivery home. Lunt swings, hits that one to left. Coming in and making the catch is going to be Wilcox. His throw will be cut off by Gardner, and the runners will all have to hold. Brock Esplin at third base did not get right back on the bag, and it wasn't hit very deep, so Wilcox had his momentum going home for a throw. Probably would have made a pretty good throw with his momentum and everything going towards where he wanted to throw it. And so with 1 away now, the middle infield will go back into double play depth with Morgan Garrett, the left fielder, coming up. Garrett is 0 for 1, went down looking back in the second. And the first pitch from Powell comes home, a breaking pitch that sits on the corner, and it's 0-1. Powell's been able to locate the curveball quite well tonight. No balls and a strike. And the delivery comes home. That one stays high for a ball, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Morgan Garrett. The bases are full for Cedar. Brock Esplin at third, Brecken Lewis at second, and Dallas Jolly over at first. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The delivery, breaking ball, swung on, grounded to short. It's going to be a tough play. They're going to get 1 at second. The relay to first, not in time. So Brock Esplin will score from third. Brecken Lewis will advance to third. Dallas Jolly retired for the second out of the inning. And Morgan Garrett will reach on the fielder's choice. And with 2 outs, Cedar has now increased their lead to 3-1 here in the top of the 4th. And Weston Bettridge will come to the plate for the Redmond. So runners on the corners as Baden Powell, working from the stretch, will deliver the first pitch to Weston Bettridge. Runner goes, throw down to second is going to not be in time, as stealing second base is Morgan Garrett. Quickly trying to cut the ball off was Evan Moss to make sure that Brecken Lewis didn't break on the throw. And so now runners on second and third with 2 outs and a 1-0 count to Bettridge. Set and delivers home, and that one's going to be low for a ball, and it's 2-0 to Weston Bettridge. On deck is Josh Boyer. Infield playing normal depth here with the 1-1 pitch on its way. Swung on, hit into left field. It's gonna be a leaping catch by Braden Irvin, who gets there to make the catch. And we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here. Cedar does score 1 in the top half of the 4th. Heading to the bottom of the 4th, it's Cedar 3, Desert Hills 1. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Utah Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the fourth inning, Desert Hills' Clay Wilcox is at the plate with an 0-1 count. And the 0-1 pitch is away for a ball. It evens the count at 1-1. As Lunt delivers, that one's going to be inside and tight, and Wilcox kind of turns out of the way. It's 2-1. Caden Lunt has worked well through this portion of the game through the first 3 innings, and that one's away for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. He's allowed 1 run on 3 hits, with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. 3-1 pitch comes inside, and that will be his second walk of the night as Clay Wilcox gets on base. And now Wyatt Bendel will come to the plate for Desert Hills. So the Thunder are trying to get back to tie this one to get a rematch of yesterday with Grantsville. Runner over at first base is Clay Wilcox, and Bendel at the plate. The first pitch on its way, blocked in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Bendel 1 for 1 on the morning with a single. As Lunt now set, working from the stretch pickoff move and diving back safely is Clay Wilcox. Blake Betts to follow for the Thunder of Desert Hills. Set working from the stretch, and the 1-0 pitch from Caden Lunt comes high for a ball, and it's 2-0. We're going to have a quick visit here to the mound by Cedar. Just trying to make sure here they keep everything, make sure their pitcher's doing okay. Two balls and no strikes will be the count as the visit will come to conclude on the mound. Infield up the middle will be a double play depth here with no outs. They're going to hold Wilcox on at first, so a big hole through the right side for Wyatt Bendel. Two balls and no strikes the count, and the delivery home is swung on, and Bendel swings and fouls it back to the backstop. Lunt takes a long look over at Wilcox as he gets his lead. The 2-1 pitch, that one high and tight for ball 3, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Outfield playing pretty square away, playing deeper than typical though for Bendel. 3 balls and a strike, and the delivery comes home, swung out, popped up high on the infield. Esplin's gonna look for it, and he is gonna make the catch, and there's 1 away. Esplin had to look almost directly up into the sun right now, as the sun's kind of positioned on the third base side over towards first. So he had to look almost directly up into the sun to make that catch. And there's 1 away for the first baseman, Blake Betts. Betts, wearing number 23, will hit from the left side. He's 0 for 1 tonight, grounded to second in his first at-bat. And the pitch comes inside on the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count here to Blake Betts. Big hole for the left-handed hitting Betts in the right side. And the pitch comes on the inside corner again, and it's taken this time 2 inside for a ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's Cedar 3, Desert Hills 1, bottom of the 4th, pickoff move, and back to the bag is Clay Wilcox. One ball and 1 strike. Caden Lunt sets and delivers home. That one swung on and fouled right back almost near us here in the press box. It's 1-2. The netting that they have goes I want to say almost to the roof, but there's just a little portion that's not covered. And if the ball was to roll and get in that one small little portion, it could come up back here towards the press box. The 1-2 pitch, and Betts swings and fouls that one away. And the count will go 1 ball and 2 strikes to Betts. Time called here, as looks like it was called over by the first base umpire. One ball, 2 strikes. The delivery comes. Betts. It looks like he checked his swing, but they're gonna say they're gonna appeal the second, and he held up. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blake Betts. And the 2-2 pitch, that one comes inside and hits Betts in the foot. And so Desert Hills will put a couple of men on here in the 4th, and Clay Gardner is going to come to the plate. Gardner went down on strikes in the 2nd in his first at-bat of the day. Runner sitting over at first is Blake Betts. Gardner, wearing number 6, stands in. With 1 down, Lunt will turn and look Wilcox back to second, although nobody was there, so it was just looking him back. We're going to have looks like a courtesy runner now for Blake Betts. It's going to be number 7 for Desert Hills. Tyler Black will pinch run for Blake Betts. So Gardner will step back into the box here. Step back in the box, and the first pitch to Gardner will be delivered, and that one's going to bounce and get to the backstop. Wilcox will go down to 3rd, and Black to 2nd, and Desert Hills now with a couple of men in scoring position here, with the tying runs now sitting on 2nd and 3rd, and the leading run sitting at the plate. So 1 ball and no strikes now, the count on Clay Gardner, as the Desert Hills fans begin to get loud here. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Lunt checks the runner at 3rd, delivers the 1-0 pitch. Gardner chops that one high and foul over to the 3rd base coaching box. And we'll even the count at 1-1. Braden Irvin on deck to follow for the Thunder. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch on its way. That one swung on by Gardner, hit foul again down the 3rd baseline. And up onto the berm, and it's 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Clay Gardner. So 1-2 coming to Gardner, the pitch on its way, and that one swung on, fouled straight back. Caden Lunt trying to work out of this jam here. With 2 men on, with 1 out in the 4th. Infield up the middle, playing back, corners in, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and popped up. And that will go foul. And we'll redo the 1-2. So Gardner staying in and battling here. Looking to come up with that clutch base hit. Lunt set, working from the stretch, delivers the 1-2 pitch home, and that one's blocked in the dirt by Jolly, and it evens the count at 2-2. So that one was away, and a great job by Dallas Jolly of getting there and blocking it in the dirt, and it'll be 2-2. Lunt set, working from the stretch, and he delivers home the 2-2 pitch. Is swung on by Gardner, hit to left and deep. Garrett going back, he's gonna run out of room, and that one is gone. A 3-run homer for Clay Gardner will give Desert Hills a 4-3 lead. You couldn't ask for a more clutch hit for Clay Gardner than a 3-run home run to give your team the lead. And now Braden Irvin will come to the plate, the shortstop, who is 1 for 1 tonight with a double. And the first pitch is going to be away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Irvin. And the delivery coming home, and that one's on the corner for a called strike, and evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Lunt home. Irvin swings, pops it up. That one's going to go foul, and it'll be 1-2. So the 1-2 pitch on its way, swung on and kind of rolled foul down the third baseline, so we'll redo the 1-2. Definitely an exciting one here. The 1-2 pitch on its way. Caden Lunt delivers home. That one's away for a ball. It evens the count at 2-2. Lunt kicks and delivers again. The breaking pitch stays high, and the count now runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. A time will be called here by Irvin as he'll step out for a second, now step back in. Lunt set with a 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be low, ball 4, and so Braden Irvin's on. The head coach for Cedar is on the warning track, out of the dugout right now, waiting to see. It looks like he's going to stay put for right now, as Jordan Evans will come to the plate. Evans, the center fielder, number 24, time called as a ball from the bullpen will get all the way back behind home plate. And they'll go ahead and retrieve that and call time. Evans on the night is 0 for 1, went down on a strikeout back in the third. Runner over at first, Irvin gets his lead and delivers home. That one swung on, grounded to third, past the diving third baseman Lewis into left field. Getting to second will be Irvin. He will hold there, and Desert Hills has 2 men on with 1 away here in the 4th. And the top of the lineup and Evan Moss due up. And the Cedar coach getting a little bit further on the warning track this time, as they're going to have a conference by the infield right now to try to calm down Caden Lunt right now. So Moss will come to the plate. He's 1 for 1, had an RBI single in the third, and he walked in the first. With a couple of men on, it's going to be Braden Irvin at second, Jordan Evans at first. Infield up the middle for Cedar, playing at double play depth. Lunt is set, working from the stretch. Steps on the mound. And now is set, ready to go. The first pitch to Moss is in there at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. Brayson Hertzman, the DH, waiting on deck for Desert Hills. No balls and a strike as Lunt sets and delivers home the 0-1 pitch. That's high for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Two men on, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. 3 runs in for Desert Hills to take a 4-3 lead on a 3-run homer by Clay Gardner. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the delivery home from Caden Lunt is in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 1-2 to Moss. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out in the 4th. Time called by Moss as he'll step out. Getting their leads are the runners at first and second, Irvin and Evans. The 1-2 pitch on its way is a breaking ball, swung on, chopped up over the head of Lewis into left field. Coming around third and going to score will be Braden Irving, and it's 5-3 Desert Hills. The second RBI single of the night for Evan Moss has made it a 5-3 game, and now we will have a visit to the mound by the Cedar head coach. I think we're going to have a pitching change right now, as it looks to be Brock Esplin walking towards the dugout, and they will change out his glove, and so I think that'll be a good sign that we'll have a pitching change here for Cedar. We'll see. We'll sort everything out here. We'll take a quick break. It's Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Utah Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Pitching change for Cedar. Brock Esplin will move from first base to pitcher. He threw 4 1/3 innings last night against Park City, giving up 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And it's going to be then Lunt will move over and play first base. So here's Brayson Herdsman coming to the plate. And Esplin working from the stretch. His first pitch home is swung on and fouled away. So runners on at first and second. Jordan Evans at second, Evan Moss over at first. A no ball and 1 strike count here to Brayson Herdsman. And the pitch on its way, swung on and popped up into right field. Coming in is Boyer. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away. So 2 outs in the inning, and the 9th man to come to the plate in the bottom of the 4th for Desert Hills will be Dylan File. File on the night is 0 for 2. He has popped out to first and also grounded to short. And Brock Esplin sets, checks the runner at second, and delivers home. And that one swung on and popped up and up over us and foul over the press box area. So a no balls and 1 strike count to Dylan File. Brock Esplin set from the stretch and delivers home. That one's going to stay high for a ball, and it's 1-1. Running on at second is Jordan Evans. Over at first, it's Evan Moss. Moss not being held on here with 2 on and with 2 out. And that's the 1-1 pitch, stays high for a ball, and it's 2-1. It'll be Clay Wilcox in the on-deck circle. Esplin set, working from the stretch. And the 2-1 pitch swung on, and that one's again popped up and goes foul up over the press box. And the Count goes even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Dylan File looking to extend this inning for Desert Hills. And the 2-2 pitch on its way, swung on and grounded to short. It's fielded. They'll go to second for 1 as Tom goes to Trayson Esplin, and the 4th inning comes to an end. But Desert Hills scores 4 in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 5-3 lead over Cedar. We head to the top of the 5th. It's 5-3 in favor of Desert Hills. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Utah Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Leading off for Cedar, the right fielder, number 13, Josh Boyer.
Top half of the 5th inning. The top of the lineup due up for Cedar: Josh Boyer, Trayson Esplin, and Riker Tom. And we'll see here what the top of the lineup can do against Desert Hills as the first pitch from Baden Powell comes in low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Actually, it's 1 ball and no strikes. That was the first pitch of the inning. So Powell sets and delivers home the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, that one's grounded in the hole to short. Tried a backhanded attempt by Irvin, but it's going to get into left field. So Josh Boyer on for the 2nd time tonight. We'll see here how they want to rule that. And they'll give him a base hit. So a single for Boyer will bring Trayson Esplin to the plate. Esplin, wearing number 5, is 0 for 2 tonight as he's grounded out to second and reached on a fielder's choice. They're going to hold Boyer on, so a big hole on the left side, and the pitch comes in. It's over the middle of the plate for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Boyer gets his lead at first. Pickoff move, diving back to the bases, Boyer. Esplin, a even stance in the batter's box. Boyer will, as Powell steps off the mound, will quickly get back to first base. No balls and 1 strike to count to Trayson Esplin. Gardner at third, playing in on the grass in case of a bunt. And again, Powell will step off, look over at first, and Boyer's back. We've seen Cedar want to put the game in motion and take the chance to steal bases. Here in this one, Boyer with a decent lead over at first, not going. That one's blocked in the dirt. Boyer thought about going and then decided to hold as quickly Bendel got there and was thinking about firing down to first, but decided to hold on to it. One ball and 1 strike to count here on Trayson Esplin. Set with the 1-1 pitch as Baden Powell delivers home. That one's grounded to second. Fielded by Moss. He goes to Irvin for 1. Down to first in time for the double play. 4-6-3 double play. retires both Boyer and Esplin, and Riker Tom will come to the plate here with 2 away.
Number 9, Riker Tom.
So just a ground ball that was hit, was just beautifully made for a double play. It was hit right to Evan Moss to just make for a quick turn as Riker Tom fouls the first pitch away, and it's 0-1. Riker Tom singled and scored in the first and is grounded out to third in the third inning. Baden Powell kicks and delivers home the 0-1 pitch, and that's off the plate for a ball, and it's 1-1. Cedar in the red tops, white pants, all white for Desert Hills. And the 1-1 pitch as Powell delivers home. That one bounces in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2-1. Two and 1 to Riker Tom, a good hitter's count to be in. Brock Esplin waiting on deck, the pitcher. The 2-1 pitch is swung on by Tom, hit out to left field. Coming in is Wilcox, he's there to make the catch. So no runs, one hit, no errors, and none left on. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom half of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Desert Hills leading 5-3 as they come up here in the bottom of the 5th. Clay Wilcox, Wyatt Bendall, and Blake Betts to do up the same 3 that led off the 4th inning. And the first pitch into Wilcox is in for a strike, and it's 0-1. So no balls and a strike, and the breaking pitch stays high for a ball. It evens the count of 1-1. The 1-1 pitch as the delivery comes, and that one's going to be swung on and popped up. Into left field, it's Morgan Garrett coming in. He will call off the shortstop and make the catch, and there's one out. Riker Tom went out, and Morgan Garrett was coming in, and Garrett called him off. So there's one away, and Wyatt Bendall will come to the plate. Bendall's 1 for 2 on the morning. He singled and popped out. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch as Esplin delivers, check swing, and they're going to say win. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. The delivery coming home, and that one's just off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball and 2 strikes. The delivery comes. That one bounces in for a ball, and it's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Wyatt Bendall at the plate. And the delivery home is swung on and missed, and Bendel down on strikes. So the first strikeout of the night for Brock Esplin, and there's 2 outs, and Blake Betts is going to come to the plate. Betts on the night has grounded to second, was hit by a pitch, and came around to score. And the first pitch is low and away, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Esplin sets, kicks, and delivers home. And that one swung out, popped high up. Second baseman Trayson Esplin going out. Coming in is Boyer. Esplin will bobble it and hold on. Yes, he did. He went to catch it with his glove. It started to come out, but he was able to regain control. And that will end the inning for Desert Hills. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. It's Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. We move to the top of the 6th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark in the final elimination game before the state championship. Right now it's Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. The winner moves on to play Grantsville in the state championship. Grantsville will only need to win 1 this afternoon. They can win the first one and win the state championship. Desert Hills or Cedar will need to win 2 against Grantsville. And the first pitch is a ball as it bounces back to the backstop against Brock Esplin. Esplin on the day for Cedar's 2 for 2. He had a 2-run homer in the first and singled and came around to score in the 4th. The 1-0 pitch, and that's low for a ball, and it's going to be 2-0. Baden Powell through 5 innings has given up 3 runs on 5 hits. Has done a pretty good job keeping the Cedar hitters off balance. And the 2-0 pitch as Powell delivers home. Swung on, Esplin hits that one to left. Going out is Wilcox. Evans coming on, and Wilcox is gonna... That one's gonna bounce. It's gonna roll all the way back out into center field. So coming up with a triple is gonna be Brock Esplin. I don't know if people lost where the ball was. I know I did for a little bit, because I saw Wilcox and Evans on the warning track, and then I saw the ball come all the way out into into the center field area. And so trying to figure out here exactly what went on, but Brock Esplin with a triple, and we're going to have a pitching change, it looks like, here for Desert Hills after Brock Esplin leads off the inning with a triple. Desert Hills will make the pitching change. It's going to be Dylan File coming in from right field, going out to right field. It's going to be Baden Powell. We're going to let Dylan File get loose on the mound. We'll come back after he concludes his warm-up tosses. It's 5-3 Desert Hills over Cedar at the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Desert Hills in the top of the sixth makes the pitching change. Dylan File will come in from right field, and they will send out Baden Powell to play right field. Brecken Yardley has come in to run at third for Brock Esplin. And so here's Brecken Lewis at the plate, and the first pitch from File is swung on and fouled away. Dallas Jolly, the catcher, on deck for Cedar. No balls and a strike. File working from the stretch, delivers home, and that one's going to be low for a ball, and it's 1-1. Lewis on the night has struck out swinging and walked. 1-1. The count as File delivers home a breaking ball that's in there at the knees, and it's 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here to Brecken Lewis. File kicks and delivers the 1-2 fastball, and that one's swung on and fouled away. One ball, 2 strikes the count. And File kicks and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Ball gets away from the catcher. The throw down in time to finish off the out. With first base open, if the catcher does drop the ball or the ball gets away, you can, they have to throw down to first to retire him. So with 1 out, Dallas Jolly will come to the plate. He's reached on an errant walk tonight. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that stays just off the plate for a ball, and it's 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes as File, he looks in to gets the sign from Bendall and kicks and delivers home. The 1-0 pitch, that's in there for a called strike, and it evens the count at 1-1. Gardner at third, playing even with the bag. Holding Yardley close at third, and the pitch swung on and missed, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count on Dallas Jolly. Set and delivers home does File, and that's a called strike 3 on the outside corner. And there's 2 away here in the 6th, and that's going to bring up Caden Lunt. Lunt started the game on the mound for Cedar and now has moved to first base. So with 2 outs, File looking to end this inning here. The tying run is at the plate in Caden Lunt. Braxton Yardley, the runner at third for Cedar. File set, working from the stretch still, and the first pitch home to Lunt is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. File set again, gets the sign, the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Charging is Moss. He's going to quickly underhand it to first in time. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Desert Hills 3, Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. We're into the bottom of the 6th right after this. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Utah Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. The Thunder using a 4-run 4th inning to take the lead at 5-3. And one of the men to contribute to that inning with a 3-run homer was Clay Gardner. And he stands in here to lead off the sixth. Gardner on the night struck out and hit that big clutch 3-run homer, and the first pitch from Esplin is over for a strike, and it's 0-1. It will be Gardner, Irving, and Evans, 7, 8, 9 coming up. No balls and a strike. Esplin delivers. That one swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Clay Gardner. Esplin delivers, and that one swung on and hit to center. Going back a few steps is Betteridge. He's there and makes the catch with 1 out. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, and Braden Irvin going to come to the plate. Irvin has come around to score twice. He doubled in 3rd, walked in the 4th. Has also stolen a base today and made a couple of great defensive plays. And the first pitch, Irvin swings, lines that one to left. That's going to go just foul down the left field line. And it's no balls and 1 strike. No balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brock Esplin delivers home, and that one's going to be off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brock Esplin takes a couple of steps off the mound, will now walk back up, get the sign, and deliver the 1-1 pitch. That one bounces in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike as it skips away from Dallas Jolly and rolls over to the on-deck circle. The 2-1 pitch on its way home is going to be swung on line down the third baseline, fair ball. Making the turn and going to go for second is going to be Irvin. He's going to put on the brakes late as the throw comes in on a hop to Trayson Esplin. So the 3rd hit of the night for Braden Irvin, or the 2nd hit of the night, the 3rd time he's been on base, will bring up Jordan Evans with 1 out. Evans has struck out swinging and singled back in that big 4th inning for Desert Hills. Esplin takes a long look over at Irvin and delivers home, and that's low for a ball, 1-0. The top of the lineup, waiting on deck, and Evan Moss for Desert Hills. 1 ball and no strikes. The runner gets his lead at first is Irvin. Esplin looks in and delivers. That one swung on and fouled back to the backstop, and evens the count at 1-1. One ball and 1 strike here as Esplin delivers home, and that one's check swing. It's going to be a called strike, and it's 1-2 to Jordan Evans. One ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. The delivery comes home. Evans swings and misses. The 2nd strikeout of the game for Brock Esplin, and there's 2 outs in the 6th, and Evan Moss will come to the plate. Moss has 2 RBI singles and also walked. So he's found his way on in each of the innings today. Runner over at first base is Braden Irvin as he gets his lead. Esplin sets and delivers home. A breaking ball. Moss swings, it's out one to left. Coming over is Morgan Garrett, who makes the catch. And the 6th inning is over for Desert Hills. Cedar coming up in the 7th. They have 1 last chance. They're going to need 2 runs, 3 to take the lead. As we head to the top of the 7th, it's Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. You're listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Utah Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. The top half of the 7th inning is getting ready to start here at Brent Brown Ballpark. And the Desert Hills Thunder are 3 outs away from advancing to the state championship against Grantsville. It will be 8-9-1, Morgan Garrett, Weston Betteridge, and Josh Boyer coming up. So here's Morgan Garrett. The first pitch from Dylan File is swung on and missed, and Garrett ended up on one knee there as he took a big swing and came up empty. Garrett on the day has struck out in the 2nd and reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. File set and delivers the 0-1 pitch. On the corner for a called strike, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count. And the delivery swung on and missed. It gets away from Bendall. He'll throw down to first in time. Almost threw it kind of into the base path, but there's one away. So 1 out in the 7th inning, and Weston Betteridge will come to the plate for the Redmen of Cedar. Betteridge on the night is 0 for 2. He lined out to short and flew out to right. In the first pitch, he sees low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 count on its way, and that one's just outside for a ball, and it's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. File delivers the 2-0 pitch, and that's low for ball 3, and the count goes now to 3 balls and no strikes. So 3 balls and no strikes the count, and the delivery home from File is low, ball 4, and Betteridge is on here with 1 out in the 7th inning, and back to the top of the lineup in Josh Boyer. Boyer on the night has singled twice and has flown out to center. I guess I should say really in the morning, as Boyer stands in from the right side. Betteridge gets his lead at first, and File delivers. And Boyer swings and misses. He swings and misses at the first fastball. File working from the stretch. Gets the sign from Bendall. Pickoff move, and Betteridge is back. File a quick move to first. The winner gets the Grantsville Cowboys in the state championship game. Time called. No balls and 1 strike. Betteridge gets his lead at first. File set and delivers a breaking ball. Boyer swings and misses, and it's 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes the count on Josh Boyer. It'd be Trayson Esplin who's on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch, a breaking ball. Boyer swings and hits that one to right, but it's going to go foul. You could tell Boyer there was expecting the fastball, kind of started his swing and then had to kind of slow his swing down to catch up with the breaking pitch. So no balls and 2 strikes the count as File sets and delivers home the 0-2. That stays high for a ball, and it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. File sets a breaking pitch, and that's going to be just inside for a ball. And it goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner over at first. Weston Betteridge gets his lead. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and foul back to the screen. So Josh Boyer staying in there and fouling off pitches and staying alive. Trying to do everything in his power to keep this inning going. Betteridge gets his lead at first again. File takes a look over. Comes set and delivers home. A breaking pitch that stays high, and it's ball 3. The count is now full. So Boyer, who was once down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, has worked his way back in the count to now being 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. File delivers. Swung on and missed. Boyer couldn't catch up. And there's 2 outs. Boyer might have just swung at a pitch that was out of the zone. And now Trayson Esplin will come to the plate with 2 outs in the 7th. So ball game on the line right here as Trayson Esplin is 0 for 3 on the night. He's grounded out, grounded into a double play and into a fielder's choice. The first pitch is high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Riker Tom in the on-deck circle for Cedar. File set working from the stretch as the Desert Hills fans are on their feet. Time called as Esplin will step out of the box and now we'll get back in. File set and delivers the 1-0 pitch. That one stays way up high and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls and no strikes as File delivers that 2-0 pitch. A fastball, it's right down the middle for a called strike, and it's 2 balls and a strike. A big hole out in right center field for Trayson Esplin if he could get one out there. 2 balls and a strike, and the fastball comes in on the corner for a called strike 2. Esplin kind of turned away from that. I think he thought it was a little more inside, but it hit the inside corner. And it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Bettridge at first. File set from the stretch. And delivers home. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Desert Hills has defeated Cedar and will advance to the state championship game in about 20 to 30 minutes from now, where they will get Grantsville. If you're Desert Hills, that's win 1 of what you need 3. You need 2 more wins today to win the state championship, but you are still alive right now. Cedar had an incredible year that will bring back a good portion of this team next year. We're sophomores and juniors, and so another season for Cedar next season for a chance to make a run at a state championship. We'll be back in around 20 to 30 minutes from now with the state championship, game number 1, Grantsville and Desert Hills. If Grantsville wins, that will be the end of the 3A baseball season. If Desert Hills wins, we'll have 1 more game after the state championship game. So in 20 or 30 minutes, we'll have that one, Grantsville and Desert Hills coming up. Once again, our final score here, Desert Hills 5, Cedar 3. You've been listening to the 2014 Class 3A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.